It's time now for the Peter Channel Afternoon News on this October 21st, 2016 on a Friday afternoon. I'm Peter Wiggins and I news headlines. Top story at 12:17 on this Friday afternoon is... It was tense even before they started. Reporters tweeted Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump entered the Alfred A. Smith Memorial Foundation dinner from separate sides of the room and didn't even shake hands. For more than 2 hours on Friday morning, much of the web seemed to grind to halt, or at least slowed the dial-up speed for many users in the United States, as when the entire internet seems to break at once. The United Nations said Friday it's gravely worried that ISIS has taken 550 families from villages around Mosul, Iraq's second largest city, as it is using them as human shields and as Iraqi and Kurdish forces battle the terror group for control. AT&T Incorporated is in advanced talks to acquire Time Warner Incorporated, according to people familiar with the matter, a deal that would create a new all-market in the rapidly converging realms of the media, communications, and the internet. Brussels, Canada walked out of the talks meant to save out a trade deal with the European Union on Friday, unable to break a deadlock with a small Belgian region that was holding off next week's official signature. Dominique Foxworth admits that easy to blame the NFL for mishandling domestic violence issues, but it also brings to light the challenges that the league faces when doing out punishments as Sheriff Glass bully NFL over critical remarks over the Josh Brown case. In an effort to clear tension with Barack Obama, President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines approached him during a dinner at a regional summit in the last month, 2 days after he openly criticized the U.S. South Africa has decided to withdraw from the International Criminal Court after previously ignoring an ICC arrest warrant for Sudanese President Omar al-Bashir. Geneva, Russia has told the United Nations it will stop bombing eastern Aleppo for 11 hours a day for 4 days, but it's not enough to trigger a wider ceasefire deal under which militants would leave the Syrian war zone, the UN said. UN Human Rights Chief Zaid Rad al-Hussein has described the Syrian city of Aleppo as a slaughterhouse in a speech. He said the siege and bombardment of Aleppo's rebel LDs were among the crimes of historic proportion being committed in Syria. A chemical spill in Atchison, Kansas on Friday sent a plume of fog in the air and spurred warnings from officials on social media. Emergency officials warned residents to seek shelter and stay inside. Federal prosecutors in Baltimore on Thursday said they will charge a former National Security Agency contractor of violence and espionage act allegedly made off with an astonishing quantity of classified digital and other data, over 20. Take a look at news from The Wire. London, the British Royal Navy and Air Force monitored Russian warships as they passed by the English Channel en route to Syria. So 1 in 3 North Korean defectors who attend university in South Korea are considered a leave of absence or dropping out because of language barriers. London police arrested a 19-year-old man on Friday and cleared out with a suspicious item found on a London Underground train. Caracas, Venezuela. Venezuela's electoral agency postponed the opposition efforts to hold a recall referendum to remove President Nicolas Maduro from power. Kiev, Ukraine. Russians refused to extradite filmmaker Oleg Sentsov, sentenced to 20 years of terrorism in Ukraine, to finish his prison term. Washington, the United States and South Korea agreed to strengthen the U.S. policy of extended deterrence. Beijing. Hong Kong's weather agency said Typhoon Hama made landfall in China, weakened enough to cause the death of at least 13 people in the Philippines. Washington. Israel's favorite Hillary Clinton to Donald Trump by nearly 2-to-1 margin in a new poll finds. Washington. The vast majority of Americans think the loser of the presidential election should accept the outcome and concede the race without question. Phoenix, First Lady Michelle Obama, speaking in normally red Arizona, said Donald Trump's strategy to make the election so nasty will take away your hype. Detroit health inspectors are looking closely at a Whole Foods market after 2 cases of hepatitis A were connected at a grocery store. In local news from the Edinburgh Sun Chronicle, Edinburgh, when Police Chief Kyle Hagney and ISP pursued 2 suspects of the type of bank robbery resulted in the capture of the suspects in neighboring Taunton last February. He and Taunton Chief Edward Walsh get a lot of exposure as top law enforcement officers willing to step into the hazardous roles of everyday cops. Hagney's involvement also get him into trouble for violating the department's pursuit policy, not with his superiors but himself. The chief circulated an internal memo days after the incident documented his violation and meaning not disciplining himself of 8 hours extra duty. In the memo, he defended the doctors as necessary just to avoid risk to life. He also said he looks to change the existing policy to take such circumstances into account. The memo did not come until recently when someone tweeted out a copy of the document. Hagney asked a comment Friday from the Sun Chronicle said he would stand on his comments in the memo, which he said he violated policy with regard to using an unmarked cruiser and use of a pit maneuver a police tactically used to stop a fleeing car by bumping in his spin. He said he served as a self-imposed discipline shortly after the memo, working an extra 8 hours. Newport, Rhode Island. Government officials and community leaders from Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island have gathered to form or how they can support the military and military families as a region. The group met Friday at Newport for the forum hosted by Associated Defense Communities. It's a non-profit's first multi-state event. Heinsberg, Vermont. Police say 6 people from Vermont, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire have been arrested while protesting an natural gas pipeline in the town of Heinsberg, Vermont. Look at that business news. British American Tobacco FC's planned by Reynolds American could have a final wave of industry consolidation. Rivals will need to link up to compete the world's largest listed tobacco company. Fast food giant McDonald's did their third quarter expectations for profit and revenue as a company seeks to solidify gains for the all-day breakfast push. Montreal airplane train maker Bombardier cut 7,500 jobs around the world over the next 2 years as it tries to turn around in its business. Unemployment rates rose in 3 of 8 U.S. swing states last month. Safran Electronics and Defense has successfully carried out integration tested a Sigma 40 ship navigation system and Harpoon anti-missile system in Paris. Washington, U.S. Defense and Advanced Research Project recently handled the Space Surveillance Telescope of the U.S. Air Force during the ceremony on Tuesday. Palo Alto, California tested new self-driving system that will be available for some of its vehicles can be used, but the company soon be released ride-sharing services. Washington, U.S. Marine Corps CH-53K King Stallion helicopter has completed this 2-week initial operation period the Navy announced this week. Taking a look at stocks. The Dow down 42.35 points at 18,120. SP 5 down 3.17 at 2130.17. And the Nasdaq up 9.17 at 5,251. On Friday morning, the American Academy of Pediatrics shifted its stance what is commonly known as screen time, abandoning its controversial recommendation to keep children under age 2 away from screen media. NASA astronaut Shane Kiber and the Russian cosmonaut Sergei Ryzhikov and Andriy Brezhko docked with the International Space Station at 5:52 a.m. In 2005, David Ellsworth got his mom of sheep farts sent to Queensland, America, Austria, when 2 false-eyed bone fragments broken out that the soil caught his eye. Astronomers have produced an image of the Milky Way by mapping out the element hydrogen and its beauty using large, very sensitive radio telescopes in both Germany and Austria. Science says period in the heavens and gathered oodles of data. Junior Ohio, Shannon Nias wasn't sure how her 5 son Kai was going to react. Kai was at 9th line and made his new autism-assisted dog a golden lab named Tornado. New Delhi, the World Medical Association top medical ethics body Friday installed an Indian doctor facing corruption charges after his president despite controversy surrounding his appointment while legal cases are pending. Mincy, Indiana, a 24-year-old menacing man had been sentenced to 32 years in prison to death with his 4-month-old son last year. American answers key to the phase 3 key note 45 met primary endpoint trial stopped early. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg is making her opera debut. On November 12th, playing the role of Duchess of Craig on Obadiah, the daughter of the regiment. Donald Trump is gone. For his adult life, with a chip on his shoulder, he could never be the self-made man for his father, Fred Trump was. Phoenix, Donald Trump uttered some bad numbers after some of the millions of people watching the final presidential debate who called it racially divisive. Clinton's campaign said Friday that Clinton will meet with 2 activists before an early voting event in Cleveland, and campaign aide said they will discuss how to advance equity and opportunity in the African-American community. Peter Channel News Time is now 12:26, and it's time now for Sports Report. Tonight, the North boys soccer team will square off against the Halston Panthers at 3:30 p.m. at the Roundhouse Field, while the football team will be at home against the Westwood Wolverines at 7 o'clock, and the volleyball team will take on Halston at 6:30 p.m. at Adams Field. So go Lancers! Look at that top sports stories here. Pittsburgh, how Sammy Coates went from rookie bust, the latest Steelers wide receiver success story, as the cameras are going to love this kid with long twisted dreadlocks followed on his helmet. He was going to be a Highland machine, plays in front. Defense is a plucking pass from the sky, denting in end zones. Boston, so this week, your street thing is Dave Trubowski, as good as the thing is, and please don't manipulate the question. Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs. See you, Jason. See you next Friday. Okay. Chicago Cubs catcher David Ross talked about 2 or 3 games Los Angeles reporter John Lester as the Chicago Cubs are 1 win away from making their first World Series debut since 1945. With 69 picks since general manager Trent Baalke started running the draft in 2010. San Francisco should be a team that always seems to be promising young pass rusher in the pipeline that has an endless supply of young running backs. Peter Chell News Time is new 12:28 on this. Peter Chell News Time, 12:28 p.m. on this Friday afternoon. And it's time now for a traffic and transit report. Baby! Let's dive up and meditate where it's on S4 and S5 experiencing minor delays of the traffic. Commuter rail. It's looking good. And on the ferries, they are looking good. How is in both ways of New England on this Friday afternoon? 95 on this, both ends is backed up from Sanford to Greenwich. Merritt Parkway eastbound to back to Greenwich down to Norwalk and Hippex again west to Bridgeport, Connecticut. 91 on the southbound side, Little Swan 69 with a Meriden. 84 eastbound side, it is backed up after related Waterbury. 91 on the northbound side, it is backed up just before 84 Harvard, Connecticut. 91 on the southbound side, slow before Interstate 84 Harvard, Connecticut. 91 on the southbound side, it is backed up at 291 and 57 out in Springfield. Mass Packet on the westbound side, it is backed to Charlton down to Sturbridge. 495 on the northbound side, it is backed up for the Franklin stretch. 95 on the southbound side, it is backed up from the protected Providence line to downtown Providence. 195 westbound backed up 44 in East Providence down to downtown Providence. 610 connectors backed up at 695. Out in the Cape, Route 6 in the eastbound side, it is backed up around 149 the West Bonsible. Mass Packet in the eastbound side, it is backed up from South Boston and East Boston. 93 on the northbound side, it is backed up from South Boston all the way out to the Logan or out to the 1A in Boston. 70 tunnel southbound Slow Carolina tunnel looking good. 128 southbound side back around Route 3 out of Burlington, Massachusetts. 93 on the northbound side back to Durham, Hampshire down to 293 in Manchester, New Hampshire. 101 on the westbound side of Lowell after Everett Turnpike in Manchester, New Hampshire. 393 on the eastbound side of Lowell around 93 in Cork, New Hampshire. But highways and byways, Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, not looking good except on the area and southbound side of Lowell Canadian border up in Vermont. 91 on the northbound southbound side back to up before the Canadian border up in Vermont. Interstate 87 on the southbound side, Little Slow around Route 11 up in Champlain, New York. And 77 in the eastbound side, Little Slow after 87 out in Troy, New York. Peter Chell News Time is 12, and the Mass Pack both ends is backed up around Stockbridge. Peter Chell News Time, 12:30 on this Friday afternoon, and it's time now for a weather report, and look at the latest radar situation here on this. On this Friday afternoon, and looking at the latest radar, and it shows a line of rain showers stretching east of Windham, Connecticut, stretching around a line from South Woonsocket down around the Providence Work area, stretching along 44 from Providence down to Taunton and to Middleborough, and a little line of rain showers stretching around from northeast of Rochester, New Hampshire, up to Conway, Hampshire, western Maine, from Fiber, Maine, all the way up to Lewiston, Maine, and up in Waterville, Maine. But the west of us is a line of heavy bands of showers and storms, stretching the line from Bennington, Vermont, all the way down for the Berkshire County, Massachusetts, and northwest Connecticut, and east of New York, from Albany all the way down to New York City and around the Jersey Shore. And gonna time to see where are these storms gonna be headed. They're gonna head to the north, and this is a line of range that's gonna be headed down to the north. So the sporting events here at Non-High could be in question. All right. Looking at the 7-day forecast, it goes. Oh, let's take a look at hazard weather outlook. Okay, day 1 today tonight. Locally heavy rain this afternoon and evening. Could be localized urban and port range flooded. And day 2 7 Saturday for Thursday. Westerly winds increase late Saturday and Saturday night with a moderate, probably a wind advisories. 7-day forecast goes like this. This afternoon, patch back after 2 p.m. wise. Most clouds cap at 33 degrees. Southeast at about 8 miles an hour. Tonight, shower like Maine between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. The rain can be at heavy at times. Patch back wise. Clouds cap low at 59 degrees. East about 6 miles coming. Light variable after midnight. Chance of patch at 6%. New amounts between a half 3/4 inch possible. Saturday, check the showers. Here's the fog before 11 a.m. Otherwise, most clouds cap about temperature rises at near 64 by 10 a.m. Then falling to 53 during the remainder of the day. Northwest at about 5 to 50 miles a gun and southwest of the morning. Winds could gust as 31 miles an hour. Chest patch is 40%. New amounts of less than 7 inch possible first. Saturday, I check the showers. Maine before 10 p.m. Most clouds get a low about 43 degrees. And northwest with about 13 and 60 miles gusts at 38 miles an hour. Chest patch is 30%. New amounts of less than 7 inch possible for Sunday. Most clouds get about 57 degrees. West about 14 and 17 miles an hour. Gusts at 34 miles an hour for Sunday night. Slight check the showers at midnight. Pop clouds go about 41 degrees. Chest patch is 20%. For Monday, most of the Sunday, the pop cloud about 32 degrees. Tuesday, most of the Sunday, pop cloud about 52, about 31 degrees. Wednesday, most of the Sunday, pop cloud about 52, about 32 degrees. And for Thursday, pop clouds go about 53 degrees. Currently, on here, it is overcast skies, and we have a temperature of 75 degrees with humidity 80%. And that is going to be it for the Peter Channel afternoon news on this October 21st, 2016, on a Friday afternoon. I'm Peter. Hope you have a good afternoon and good positive, and hope you have a good day. Go Lancers! Have a good afternoon.